Hello. This is Jonathan, and you're listening to the Johnny Talks podcast, the place where we help you achieve your financial goals. Hello, friends. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are, whether that's in Stockholm, Helsinki, or Brussels. And today, you're in for a treat because this is the second episode for this week. I usually only do one. And why is that? It's because it's my birthday. And for my birthday, I'm very glad to have no other than the one and only Ivan Liljeqvist from Ivan on Tech, my favorite, but also the best YouTube channel on blockchain and cryptocurrencies. And for those who don't know Ivan on Tech, most of you I guess, he runs his successful YouTube channel with over 200,000 subscribers. He's a software developer and blockchain consultant, and he speaks at conferences around the world to spread the good word and educate people about blockchain technologies and cryptocurrencies. And in today's episode, we will discuss with Ivan what blockchain technology is, what is Bitcoin, what the actual use case for Bitcoin is. We will, of course, discuss the value of Bitcoin and if it's worth investing in it. And if you're here because you're a fan of Ivan and you follow his channel, well, we will discuss a few of his habits, how he manages to combine all his activities. And as well, we will discuss the future of Ivan on Tech. This episode is for you if you want a quick and simple explanation on what blockchain technology is and cryptocurrencies are. And if you're a fan of Ivan, you will learn a thing or two of what's happening under the hood at the Ivan on Tech headquarters in Stockholm, Sweden. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Hello, Ivan. How are you doing today?
I'm very good. Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. So, Ivan, let's go straight into the topic. So, blockchain. So, blockchain, that's something you've been working with. Could you explain it in the layman terms for our audience? Like, what is blockchain technology?
Right. So, blockchain is mainly a database, and it's easier to understand blockchain if you understand what cryptocurrencies are. Mm-hmm. So, in order to really get a deeper understanding, we have to start with Bitcoin, which is a currency that exists on the internet. It was created on the internet and nobody controls it. So you don't have a bank, you don't have a company, you don't have a central entity that controls and makes sure that everyone is behaving in the system. There is no one that makes sure that you do not just copy paste your Bitcoin. Instead, it's done by the technology that underpins Bitcoin, which is blockchain. And you could say that blockchain is a digital stone. Whatever you write in this blockchain, it stays there forever. Just like when you write something in stone, it stays there forever. So blockchain is this database where you can only add new information. And so in Bitcoin, we add new transactions into the blockchain so that if you tell me that you have 1 trillion Bitcoin, I can check in the blockchain and see that you never received those trillions of Bitcoin that you claim you have. So by having this immutable ledger, this digital stone, we're able to build trustless systems where you and I don't need to trust each other. We don't need to trust anyone else. We just trust the system. And that is made possible by having this database where nobody can remove anything from. You can only add things to it.
Okay. Because you mentioned when you started, there's no banks, no middlemen involved. How safe is it?
It's completely safe if you know how to use it. And so as long as you understand how Bitcoin is really used, you have your own, you handle your own Bitcoin, and then it is 100% safe. But it becomes not that safe if you use trusted third parties. So many people, instead of using their own Bitcoin wallet, they trust a random website on the internet to store their Bitcoin for them because it might be a bit more convenient. So then it becomes a bit more dangerous because if that website disappears or they go bankrupt or they exit scam or they do something else, you realize that you are in danger and your funds might be in danger. So there are many of these so-called crypto exchanges, but they're more like crypto banks because you basically use them as a bank. You store your funds there. You can trade one currency for another currency, but you need to understand that you're trusting all your funds to those entities. But as long as you're using Bitcoin as it was supposed to, meaning that you store your private keys, you have your wallet, then it is 100% safe.
Okay, very good. That sounds excellent. But I live in Western Europe. I live in Luxembourg. You live in Sweden.
Yes.
I mean, in my daily life, I don't need blockchain. I don't need Bitcoin. I mean, I can go to the bank. I can buy whatever I want, coffees, or I can buy, I can go to eat lunch, go buy my concert tickets, etc. So why do I need Bitcoin?
Right. So whenever it comes to money, you never question it and you never think about it until it stops working. So personally, my parents are from Belarus, so we experience firsthand when a currency stops working, when you see hyperinflation, but also when you see just capital controls in which you cannot just transfer money wherever you want. Also, it's a very important, there are two main markets that Bitcoin is really helping right now. The first one has to do with people in unstable economies, such as Venezuela, Nigeria, and others. Because there you simply cannot store your funds safely. And people are trying to find other means of storing their wealth instead of just storing them in the national currency that collapses by the minute. You know that Venezuela has millions of percent in inflation. And the other group of people right now are just wealthy people who might not be sure that they really can move their money however they want, especially in Asian countries where capital controls are strict. If you look in China, for example, how that system works. You cannot just transfer $1, $2, $3, $4 million out of the country however you want, and your funds might be confiscated for one reason or another. So wealthy people are now looking into crypto and understanding that, hey, we need to use it as a way to truly have ownership of our funds, because crypto is unconfiscatable. Nobody can take it away from you. And that means that people are feeling safer having their funds in crypto compared to a bank account. And you know that with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, you can send them to anyone else in the world, wherever they are in the world. And you can, if you have Bitcoin, for example, or other cryptocurrencies, you can also move from one country to another without actually carrying anything with you. As long as you remember your password to your wallet, you get this phrase, which you can think of as a password. As long as you remember that, you will be able to just leave the country without actually carrying your wealth with you, because that wealth is in the Bitcoin network.
Mm-hmm. No, very good. And of course, I understand clearly the examples with Venezuela or such countries. But
yes.
What about Western Europe, where you and I live in right now, for example?
Right. Western Europe is an interesting case right now where in our daily lives, people don't really need Bitcoin right now. Mm-hmm. And therefore, the adoption is a bit slower. But at the same time, we need to understand that we're living in a financial experiment. Look at negative interest rates, look at the negative yielding bonds, look at everything that is happening in the financial industry. It's a big experiment. So it's not given that it's going to be stable forever. Right now, people are not really questioning it a lot. If you're not in those circles, for example, if you're not in the precious metals community, or if you're not in crypto community, most people don't really think about it. So for now, I don't think that Europe is that big of a market if you're not a speculator or if you're not a wealth manager, because European wealth managers are also waking up to the fact that Bitcoin is crucial, because they understand how the economy works a bit more. They do understand that, hey, what's happening right now is a big experiment. We've never seen negative interest rates all across the world. And so they're looking more in our times at precious metals, but also at cryptocurrencies. But normal people, unfortunately, they're not that interested in money if they're just not out to be part of the community, because they are speculating and because they understand the technology. Because I think as soon as you get it, as soon as you understand what we're talking about, you become interested in Bitcoin, you become interested in crypto as a whole. But most people, unfortunately, they will not care until it's a bit too late, mm-hmm. until their national currencies really become unstable. For example, my mission in life is to spread the knowledge. So I'm trying to educate as many people as possible, but at the same time, most people will unfortunately be a bit too late. But it's not something that I think is unusual. Most people, they don't have time to care about how money works. They have so many other problems. So that's why I don't think that as long as you don't have a problem that Bitcoin solves, you will not really care and invest time in it. And for most people in Europe and in the US, it's not a hair on fire problem. And so they're not really affected by some kind of problem each and every day that they really need Bitcoin. But wealthy people are, because obviously you question yourself, do I have access to my funds? And people in unstable countries also are affected each and every day by that. And people living in countries with capital control, where you can just transfer your funds however you want.
Okay. Now I see. It makes sense. And then Bitcoin is presented as an asset to invest in. And okay, I'm running a personal finance blog, but I like to present opportunities. And do you think that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general are the opportunity of the era to invest in? Or is it, how do you see that? Should I allocate basically 100% of my investment portfolio to Bitcoin and cryptos? Or should I be more careful? What is your opinion on that?
I think you should learn as much as possible. If you don't know anything about crypto, you should not touch it. But in order to learn, I also think that you should put a bit, like a small amount, maybe $50, maybe $100, and just have some Bitcoin, have some Ethereum, just so that you see how powerful it is. So don't invest, but just buy a bit for experiment. Don't look at it as an investment. Look at it as education. You need to understand what it is and why it's important. And once you understand more, then you will be able to make your own decision. I personally do think that it's one of the biggest changes we're seeing. And it's also one of the biggest wealth transfers that we're seeing right now. And it's only going to accelerate in the future. But that's my personal opinion. But if you yourself are completely new, or your listeners are completely new, I know that you're not completely new, but if people listening to this are completely new, just buy a piece of Bitcoin. You don't have to buy one Bitcoin. You know that you can buy 0.00001 Bitcoin. Spend $100, play around, start educating yourself, and then get in more into the market if you like what you're seeing. And another important thing is that it also, I think, depends on where you are in life. If you are young, you can put 80%. Not financial advice, but that's how I'm thinking, at least. Because when you're young, you can afford to take bigger risks. You have so many years to recoup your losses because crypto is very volatile. So it's not unusual to see 30% drops and then 40% gains. We just experienced that during the past week. Yeah. Dropped by 40, up by 30. Yeah, it's insane. So if you are close to retirement, for example, you might be a bit careful because you don't have that many years left. So if Bitcoin enters another bear market for another 5 years, it might be too late for you. So I think it depends on where you are in life, and education is key. But spend $100 for your education. Buy some Bitcoin just to try.
Yeah, I like that because myself, I like sometimes just to put small money, like $100 or whatever, into new ventures or whether it's peer-to-peer lending or Bitcoin, just at least to try. And especially with Bitcoin, I did it about 2 years ago. I put a little bit and I played around, and with some friends we tried to send a Bitcoin to each other. I mean, like a fraction of Bitcoin to each other, and that's how you learn how the wallets work, the exchange works, etc. So that's I agree with the tip, and it's very good, especially with crypto, because it's not just a bank account and some scanning. It requires a bit more knowledge and education before you start to do it. So I agree with that. And with regards to investing, and you can try it, you can learn it, but what about the crazy variation in price? I mean, like, okay, I can invest it. I understand it's gonna be minus 30 plus 40 in 1 week, but is there a fair price of Bitcoin? What is a Bitcoin worth?
Yeah, exactly. So those minus 30 plus 40 in a week, it's part of our price discovery, because if we would know how much Bitcoin is worth, we wouldn't have the volatility. But you can compare it to, for example, the market cap of gold. Mm-hmm. And if Bitcoin is to reach market cap of gold, which in my view is not something completely crazy. So if we compare Bitcoin to gold and look at the price of one Bitcoin, what that would be, it's approximately $380,000. So that's what I'm looking at. I know it might sound insane to people listening to it right now, because at the moment the price is approximately 9.5 as of today. And so can we go from 9 to 380? I think we can. I think it's not completely out of the ordinary, because that is if Bitcoin can show that it is indeed decreasing risk in your portfolio, and it is increasing returns, and we can show it mathematically. And we will be able to show it in the next few years, because probably we will see a recession in the next few years. So if Bitcoin is able to show that, hey, in a recession where most assets go down, Bitcoin actually performs amazing, then it makes sense for big capital managers and big institutions to actually invest in Bitcoin, because overall their portfolio becomes better, risk goes down and returns go up. And that's what each manager wants. And so that is why I think the next few years are very key when it comes to the next recession. Bitcoin really has to show itself and show that it is indeed this safe haven for money in a recession.
Yeah, the digital gold.
Exactly. And so if that is true, reaching market cap of gold is not out of the ordinary at all. But at the same time, who knows? Maybe it will be even bigger. Maybe people build even bigger applications on top of it. Maybe we will be using it for all kinds of different things in the future that you and I cannot even imagine right now. Just like talking about the internet in the 80s, you don't know what the internet is going to be used for at that time. We can try and imagine you and I sitting talking in the 80s and trying to see what the internet is gonna become. What can we do when we connect machines together? It would be impossible to predict everything. Mm-hmm. So Bitcoin is a bit similar to that, but at least 380K, but not financial advice, guys.
Okay.
As always.
As always. And actually, talking about investing in Bitcoin or in the blockchain space, I talked a few weeks ago to a friend of mine, Liana, also recorded on the podcast, and I asked her the question on the show. I said, but do you invest in cryptocurrency, Liana? And she said, well, no, I don't know enough, so and I see the crazy variation, so I'm not keen, but I'm keen into learning more about the space, etc., and into investing maybe in companies active in the space. So are there other ways to invest money than just to buy the coins?
Yeah, you could invest. I think the best investment is in yourself. So that's why we have Ivan on Tech Academy, academy.ivantech.com. We teach people how to program on blockchain, we explain to them what blockchain is, what Bitcoin is, how it works. And we have students working at big corporations such as Deloitte, PwC, also the biggest banks in Europe. So we've been very successful with that. So that is maybe the biggest investment you can make. But then also you could invest in equities, but usually you need to be an accredited investor. So we do see companies such as Chainalysis really, really killing it when it comes to valuation. Look them up on Crunchbase, Chainalysis. They're doing blockchain analysis and basically forensics on the blockchain. Mm-hmm. So if you look at the returns that the early investors made, we're talking about 100,000 excess already. So equity could be, but you need to be accredited, as I told you. And then the final thing is you try to build your own business, but in a way, it's also investing in yourself. So either in yourself, then buy cryptocurrencies or invest in equities.
Okay, very good. So thanks for this precious information. It's quite a lot of information to take in. So I think the listeners will have to listen 2 or 3 times just to make sure that they get everything, or just take the Academy, a course, or follow you simply on YouTube. And I'm also interested in the man behind Ivan on Tech. So you run the YouTube channel. You are a blockchain consultant. You tour around the world to speak at conferences. What other activities are you doing actually?
I think you summarized it pretty well. We have Academy, we have YouTube, and then I'm speaking. Sometimes we're also helping projects to build their technology. We consult projects when it comes to building out their tech stack. So it's those few things, and I think you summarized it pretty well.
Okay, very good. And Ivan, I've been following you for 2 years. I've seen the evolution. There's a meme that is on your Instagram. I love it. The Ivan coffee level, I love it. Maybe I'll play the clip after editing this episode. It's great. But what intrigues me is because you're all around, you're on social media, you're YouTube. I mean, you're doing your other jobs and working on the Academy. I was wondering how do you manage your time? Any tricks, any habits?
To be honest, I just like what I'm doing, and so I'm not really thinking about it that much. But because I do my live streams at 8 a.m., I need to wake up at 5:30 ish. So for most people, that is insane. Wake up at 5:30 every day. But for me, it's something that is not a problem, because the live stream is one of the most important things in the day. So in one way, my day is, I like to think that my day is finished after the live stream. Mm-hmm. But then it is academy, then it is other work, but it's a bit simpler than to do live stream. So I just think it's amazing. I wake up early. I do my most important task first, to come up with a topic, research, and then a live stream at 8. I also do a bit of research in the evening just to see what is happening. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I do all the other things, but then I'm a bit more relaxed because the most important thing is already finished. So to be honest with you, I don't really manage it. I just think like it's I like what I'm doing, so it's not a job, it's a hobby, but it's also a job, and it's amazing.
Actually, it's a lifestyle.
Lifestyle, yes, exactly.
I was expecting, I do half an hour here, I do this, I manage my social media this way, check once every 2 hours, I don't know, whatever. But no, actually, you just live your life.
Yeah, and I like, so one trick I can give you is I wake up at 5:30, then I go to bathtub, and I am in the bathtub with my phone. So doing research. So just, being in the bathtub, I like it. It's like meditation. Sometimes I can be like, in the weekend, I can just, go to bathtub, take my phone, answer some emails or answer Instagram messages. Mm-hmm. It's just relaxation, kind of like a, spa day. Mm-hmm. Take it easy and use your phone at the same time. It's very good.
Mm-hmm. And okay, Ivan, you're not alone. It's called Ivan on Tech. I'm talking to you, but you're not alone. With how many people are you in your team?
Mostly it's me, it's Philip, my partner. We're doing a lot of courses together. And then we have 5 to 10 people at all times working around. But those are mainly in other countries. We do have people in Lithuania, in India, in the UK. So it's not that they're employed, but it's more like people who are following the channel and they want to help and they want to earn a bit of money doing that. So we're more towards decentralized businesses. So we don't need an office. We don't need a big, team in Sweden. We can truly be decentralized and use the talent all across the world. But it is mainly me and Philip. Then we have people just working and helping us with different things when we need them. And recently we also started collaborating with different experts when it comes to our academy as well, because we want to always produce new content, and the best way is for us to partner with more people, and it's not just us two. Mm-hmm. So it's coming to academy soon. We're gonna release some exciting content, and we're releasing content every month in the academy.
Mm-hmm. Because, okay, Ivan, today you're focusing on the academy, obviously. You're doing the Good Morning Crypto each and every day, 8 a.m. from Stockholm.
Yes.
I know it by heart. You say it every day. It's cool. But where do you see yourself in, let's say, 3, 4, 5 years? I mean, are you going to continue doing this, or do we see further developments?
Well, I mean, in the next few years, I think we're gonna see a bull market, and for me, it's important to just grow what we're doing right now. So I just will continue focusing, having laser sharp focus, and grow probably by 5, maybe 10-fold. We'll see. But it's always, I think, important to focus, because especially in an industry such as crypto, it's so important. It's so easy to do everything. Like, it's so easy to have YouTube channel and online publication and this business and consultancy, and then you also can have a fund, and you can have you launch your own coin, and we've been in this trap a bit that we did too many things at the same time, and now it's just it's academy, it's YouTube, and it's speaking basically. And in the next bull market, we're gonna continue doing that, but at the same time, next bull market will present a lot of opportunities, and it's very important to prepare for that. As I always speak about, it's important to understand what the opportunities will be by educating yourself and building products, building businesses when times are not that hot, because when they become hot, you need to be prepared.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very good. And then I had a question actually that I asked my audience, and I had one question, very interesting one, talking about preparing for the future crypto. I mean, you expect a bull market, so that means that things are going to move in the right direction. But
yes,
the question of my listener was, what if, a large company such as Google or Amazon says to Ivan, look, Ivan, I've been watching your work. You're a smart guy. You're famous. We want you in our company to develop a super huge project. I don't know what, but you're going to be the project manager for that project. Right. Is that something that could happen, that you're prepared for? Or you say, no, I want to continue Ivan on Tech, delivering your message and bringing knowledge to the world?
I think it depends a lot, but I think it will be very difficult because we're very successful right now. But if Amazon comes and they're like, "Hey, Ivan, we will give you $5 billion to do this project," will I say yes? I don't know. Probably. I think if somebody gives you $5 billion, you would do it. But at the same time, it's also about I like my freedom right now as well. So we'll see. But I think it's an interesting question. Whenever people ask, would you ever do X? But at the end of the day, if you would be offered the $5 billion, would you do X? I don't know.
At what cost?
At what cost exactly? But right now, it's not something that is that is interesting. And right now, also you understand that the most exciting things do not happen in those spheres. It's not Google or Amazon that is creating the most exciting, revolutionary movement that we're seeing right now in finance, in technology, in regulation, in politics, and that is crypto. And so, therefore, it's important to realize that, and crypto is it's one of a kind because people from all across the world, from all different disciplines, work here, and they all contribute, and it's such a diversity, both when it comes to countries but also industries, because you understand that crypto is technology, but it's also regulation, it's politics, it's so many different things united, and we're truly disrupting all of these different verticals.
No, and what I like is that in your channel you try to bring it. For example, you put out this video from Ray Dalio once, which is about economics, how the money machine works, etc. Yes. I mean, so it's not only one focus on the Bitcoin goes to $10,000 or whatever. It's talking about economy, talking about hyperinflation, talking about future career opportunities. So it's larger than life. I mean, I don't know. It covers a lot of topics. So it's not only one dimension.
Glad you like it. Yes, indeed.
And as well, I followed. Let's talk about the academy a little bit. I think I was one of the first student, and I wrote a review as well on your course, the Deep Blockchain Fundamentals. And in this course, you give a few career opportunities. I mean, a few career developments that one could foresee in the future. For example, in supply chain, or be a crypto lawyer, etc. Do you have other career path in that you see that could happen thanks to blockchain and crypto?
Absolutely. I think, well, number one is just education. Yeah, I think maybe it's the lowest hanging fruit you can take right now. Just like educating companies about the internet was super important. And if you knew how to build a website just 20 years ago, you were in such demand, and you can charge crazy amount of dollars to just build a simple landing page. Blockchain is very similar. To onboard the next to really be part of this next technological revolution, you better be educated, and being an educator yourself is an easy way to get started. You mentioned the crypto lawyers. That is very important because crypto brings so many questions. For example, when somebody loses their private key, they basically lose their funds, and also with being able to program money, you also enter a whole new space of law. If, for example, we program a script and there is a bug in that script, who's responsible? So crypto law is very important and also very, very big. Supply chain, you mentioned. I mean, we mentioned so many other things. Gaming, we mentioned things such as art, how blockchain is transforming art. We recently heard that Louis Vuitton is building very interesting things with League of Legends, the game. With they're building skins for League of Legends. So I think art and just being able to create digital art in digital collectibles in a way we've never seen before, that is coming. And it's only just a few. And we talk about so many other things in the academy as well.
Mm-hmm. The academy, I took the course because I wanted to be knowledgeable. I had genuine interest in the blockchain technology, and I also took the course on the blockchain for business. I'm not too much of a programmer. I'm not a technical guy, but what is the feedback of the course for the people that took the more technical course? Have they been able to use it in their careers, for example?
Yes, of course. Many of them have gone from zero to landing a full-time blockchain job. And we do have testimonials on our website, academy.ivanotech.com, where you can see. So it's been very, very successful. And we teach people how to program from scratch and then program on Bitcoin, on Ethereum, on EOS, and other platforms, such as, for example, Engine, which is a blockchain gaming platform. So it's been a huge success, especially those ones that are a bit more technical, because we offer something that nobody else has. Nobody has this kind of online education where you have everything you need collected in one place, in terms of going from zero, not even knowing what a programming language is, to being able to build and deploy and use blockchain applications and building applications on top of Bitcoin or Lightning Network or whatever you have it. So it's a really, really one of a kind.
Yeah, absolutely. I can only recommend it from what I've seen from it. And the content is added it's a subscription-based academy, and you get new content every month, and you also get the Q&A. Yes. So it's very complete, and it's very fair priced. And I will link all the details in the show notes. And okay, I partner up with Ivan. Let's be honest here. This will help the channel to grow, my channel to grow as well. And Ivan, we talked about investing at the start of the episode, but I was wondering, what about yourself? Do you invest in cryptocurrency yourself, or do you as well consider real estate or stocks?
To be honest, I earn most of my crypto nowadays. So it's not that I mostly earn. But I think real estate is very interesting as well. I think stocks are also interesting, but you don't want to buy at the top. Seems that we've had this bull market for 10 years, but everything is possible in fiat land. Everything is possible. They can go up a lot more. So for me, it's when it comes to my income, it's mostly crypto. But then, yes, I want to get into real estate. It's not something that I've gotten into yet. But it seems, except for my residential property, but that doesn't count. I want rental properties, and then yeah, I mean, stocks. That's very easy, and it's so accessible. So I think it's important to also, many people are all in crypto because they think that gold is bad or real estate is bad or stocks are bad, but it's not. I don't really agree with that. That it's only crypto 100%. I think it's good to be a bit diversified, but you also need to understand that my risk tolerance might not be the average risk tolerance in crypto. I mean, people in crypto, some of them are very, very risk tolerant. And especially if you travel to Asia, I mean, people are very risk tolerant in those regions. But myself, I'm happy with the fact that I'm earning crypto, and then, yes, I want to get into real estate as my next step as well.
Very good. And Ivan, I think we're gonna close here. And before we leave, I just want to ask you 3 quick fire questions.
Yeah.
So first question: what is your best investment so far?
Best investment has been Bitcoin. Historically, if you look at the past performance and how it's been, it's actually been myself, to be honest with you. Investing in your own education is way, way better than to invest in any asset or cryptocurrency or whatever. So to be honest with you, obviously all returns come from the insights, from the knowledge you get from different people, from different courses, from different conferences. So that has been by far the biggest gain.
Mm-hmm. And then my second question is, do you have a specific book that you would like to share, that you think everybody should read it? So it doesn't need to be financial or about Bitcoin, but just in general, what is your favorite book that you would recommend anybody?
Yeah, I would recommend the 10x Rule by Grant Cardone. You knew that.
Yeah.
Yes.
10x. Okay, very good. And then last question. This is something I ask every guest. You get handed over $1 million. What do you do with it?
interesting question. I mean, probably I would put 80% probably in crypto, and then diversify into other assets until I find a better way to do something good in the world with them.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Okay, very good. So Ivan, thank you so much for being part of the show. And if people want to find you or get into the academy, how can they find you?
Well, Academy, you can check a link in the description, and you can find me by searching Ivan on Tech on all social media.
Okay, very good, very good. And okay, so thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, and I'll speak to you next time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I hope that you enjoyed this episode and that you learned something new. It sure was packed with a lot of information. So before we head off, let's have a quick recap. Blockchain is a technology behind Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, and you can see it as a database where you cannot remove information, you can only add information. Moving on to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is not controlled by any banks. The trust lies in the system, in the blockchain technology. And if you currently own Bitcoins or any cryptocurrencies, please do yourself a favor and store them on your wallet instead of leaving them on an exchange managed by a third party. Bitcoin currently doesn't serve much purpose in Europe or in the US. Nevertheless, in unstable economies, it can be used as a store of value or for wealthy people as a way to transfer money outside their country. And this is for the countries where the transfer of capital outside the borders are controlled. And I really liked Ivan's tip on educating yourself by doing stuff, by putting $100 in Bitcoin and experimenting yourself with transferring money, how the digital wallets work, how the private key works, etc. Regarding investing in Bitcoin or in cryptocurrencies in general, the fair value of Bitcoin has not been found out, and this is explained by the fluctuation in price. Ivan sees as well Bitcoin going up to $380,000 in the future. And to be honest with you, amigos, I'm positive to blockchain technology, I'm positive to crypto, but Bitcoin at $380,000, it's hard for me to imagine. Let's see how Bitcoin behaves in a recession. And my last key takeaway for today will be about Ivan himself. When I asked him about his productivity tips or time management hacks, his answer was to focus first thing in the morning on the most important thing. He will then continue on with other activities, but at least the most important thing is done. And that is what gives him peace of mind the rest of the day. Oh, and before I forget, here's a sound clip about the video I was talking about earlier in the interview. It is just hilarious. Ivan 2017 versus Ivan 2019.
Hey, what up guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're interested in my personal, unprofessional,
straight out of Stockholm, Sweden, sound was fine. I cannot highlight enough. If you want, yeah.
And I definitely think that you are not too old, because
8 a.m. Let me know which coffee you're drinking. Ruslan.
Yeah, for those who have followed Ivan for 2 years, it's really fun to see the evolution. Anyway, so that was it for today. Thank you so much for listening. It really means a lot to me. Make sure you subscribe in Apple Podcast. And of course, please do not hesitate to contact me if you have any questions or feedback. Send me an email, john@johnnytalks.com, or connect through social media at Johnny Talks on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And amigos, once more, thanks so much for listening, and I'll speak to you next time.